Hi, and welcome to Mockat. And we are so excited to help you prep for CAT and other important exams and get into an IIM or an other top P school. Now, let me go through some of the important things that you need to do before you start your prep. So, for a lot of people, CAT is a very different type of exam. Most of us have given only our school and college exams and all, and we need to understand the nature of this exam so that we can excel on it. We keep talking about it 40 to 50% marks in CAT, which is somewhere in the 80 to 90, 95 marks range out of 198 marks actually gets us to a 99 percentile. So this is one of the things which is unique and different about CAT. So for you to understand these, there are a couple of videos which are linked in the description. But the main ones that you need to understand is just understand the difference between percentile and percentage and what you're targeting. The second video that you should go through is this one, how to get into IIMs and top MBA colleges. What this does is, this gives you a holistic idea of the CAT exam and the other exams, as well as the next steps, which will include things like your personal interview, your written ability test, group experience or group discussion, extempore, and so on. So start with these, get an idea of what you're in for the next year or so. And the second thing that you need to do, now you'll already be added onto a Telegram channel by your relationship manager. It can be the comprehensive or the classroom, depending on which pack you have joined. But in case, if you go to the description, you will see that there are a couple more groups which are there. So you have the site, of course, you have the prep schedule, I'll talk about that, but you also have the doubts group as well as the verbal prep group. So just make sure that you join the verbal prep channel and the doubts group. Any doubts that you are asking outside of class, you need to be putting it in this group. Right. So if you don't want to wait for a class and get your doubts clarified live by Vignesh or me, you want to just quickly get an answer. It's like a small question. You can just post it here on the group. Say there's some some word you don't understand or some quant question you want us to address. You can just put it in this group as well. And here you have the verbal group where we'll be sharing the daily reading article, one news of the day from our 5 news items, as well as the POV. Now I'll talk about it a little bit more in detail, but just make sure that you are definitely part of 2 Telegram groups. One is the main group where you're going to be getting the invites for all of the classes, the doubts clearing group, as well as the verbal group. Now the prep schedule looks something like this. So all of you guys will have access to a structured prep schedule. Those of you who are from the unlimited pack can also get Vignesh and my help to customize this for you. So, if you're in college and there are times when you have exams or, you're working and let's say, March is super hectic or something like that, then you can get our help to customize it. If you have extra time, we can tell you what additional to prepare so that you finish off your concepts and then you get into revision and test strategy earlier and basically aim for a 99 or a 99 plus. This is for the unlimited pack. But for all of you, you have access to the structured study plan where you know what are the classes that you have. All the classes will be at 8:30 p.m. in the evening. That's the time when it's pretty convenient for students. College and work generally tends to get done at this time. You'll also know what lessons you need to prep. So you have the general prep and you also have the stretch prep. So if you're done with these topics, then you can also go ahead and prep for the coming week, right? So for example, today we are on 12th of December. So tomorrow is an RC class. So before the RC class, students will look to finish as much of the RC lesson as possible. Now, some of you will be watching this video in Jan or Feb or March and you'll be like, oh my God, these classes are done, right? So what do I do? Do I have to watch the recordings or what is it? The answer to that is no. We take students only till a time when we can cover all the topics for them. So every topic will get covered for you. A lot of these classes will happen 2 to 3 times. Many classes such as reading comprehension where we get 16 out of 66 questions in CAT, or arithmetic and algebra where we will get somewhere in the 7-8 questions out of 22 quant questions. These are topics which will get covered even more times, right? So you don't need to go back and watch any recording or anything like that. You will just cover it when we cover it again for you. And let's say if you've not done a number theory or a factors and remainders, you can still go on and go for percentages or permutation combination or geometry or something like that. So don't worry about it. Just track the lessons for that particular week. Preferably you can take a look at it over the previous weekend. A lot of people do this prep Saturdays and Sundays. Where do you find these lessons to prep? Now here is where we come on to Mockat. All of you guys will have access to all of the content and the material that we have. So just head on to Prep Zone, learn, is where you have the lesson videos. So say we are going through number theory. So click on number theory. All lessons are split into separate modules. So it's not a 2-hour, 3-hour lesson that you are going through. It's all split into different concepts. You have the text and you have the video, and you can go through the video and understand. Whenever you are coming to a question, just pause the video and try to solve the question yourself, and then watch Vignesh's video, or similarly my video if you're going through the verbal section. In the beginning, you might feel that, okay, I don't know how to solve it. Just take 5 to 10 minutes and try and do it. As you become more confident and you learn more concepts, it will become easier. But definitely watch our video, because we might have a shorter or a slightly better approach which you can take advantage of, because in CAT, that speed or that conceptual way of solving becomes very important because we have a timer. So once you're done with the lessons, you attend the class, we will be explaining the concepts, we will be live solving questions. So I will be live solving RCs, summary questions and things like that. Vignesh will be live solving for quant and for DILR. So you will get time to solve a question, and then we will step in and we will solve. The classes will be interactive. That's one thing which we have always ensured, so that you are able to engage with us, you're able to unmute and ask your doubts. Please take advantage of this. This is something that you don't have in most places. Lot of places you have to reach out to somebody else for doubts, or you might have to put doubts in a chat or things like that. Here you're able to interact with us and ask your doubts. So when we are solving a question, if you're not understanding why it's a minus c equals 3, for example, just unmute and ask. Same way, if you have doubts in any of these concepts, again, at the end of each class, there is going to be an interactive doubt clearing, and we won't end the class till everyone's doubts get clarified. So that means any doubts you have in the lesson, in the practice questions, right, which is split into easy, medium and hard, in the daily quizzes, in the daily reading article, POV, any word you don't know, any doubt from any outside source, which is around CAT or other MBA entrance tests, or even a general doubt, right? That's when you can ask all of that. It's not that if the class is on divisibility, or the class is on, say, fill in the blanks, you can't ask an RC doubt or you can't ask a POV doubt, right? Make use of the doubt clearing at the end of every class, and any doubts that you have, you can bring on to us. So that's your next step. Once the lessons are done, you have your practice questions. Specifically for quant, once a lesson is done, you can also go through speed concepts. So what are we doing? We're checking the topics for this week from the structured study plan. Again, those of you who are from the unlimited pack will also have access to weekly prep guidance sessions, where we'll go a little more in depth. You can reach out to us with any questions you have, customization, things like that will get done for you as well. But coming back to this, you know what you need to prepare for this week based on the coming week's classes. Go through the video lessons from the Learn tab. For quant, what you need to do when you're done with the lesson is you can practice the speed concept. So let's say if you are going through numbers, right? So just start with numbers, whatever topic that you're going through, and you need to solve these questions. There's no time limit. This is an upwards timer. So take your time, try to solve as many questions as you can. This is on the quant side. On the verbal side, something similar which we have is you have the daily POV. Now, the daily POV is again something which is very unique. The speed concepts and author's viewpoint is not something which you find anywhere. Again, these are very, very important and have really helped our students to get ahead and crack this exam. So start off on day one itself, take advantage of it, right? So what you should be doing is from day one of joining Mockat, you should be viewing the day's article, right? So you can see today, again, it's 12th, right? So we have articles till 11. We already have almost 200 articles, and we keep adding articles daily. The reason for this is RCs in CAT are very, very important. In the verbal section, we have 24 questions. Out of those 24 questions, 16 questions are going to be RC questions. That's typically split into 4 RCs with 4 questions each. This is the structure that we've had in CAT 2021, 22, as well as 23. It's expected to continue if the timing remains this 2 hours. So this becomes hugely important. Just to give you an idea, for me, for example, in CAT 2023, I've got 15 out of 16 RC questions correct. So that means because CAT has a marking scheme of +3 for every correct answer and -1 for every wrong answer. For theta questions, of course, it's 0, but RCs are all multiple choice. So 15 into 3, that's 45 marks, -1 error, that's 44 marks. Just to give you an idea, 44 marks It's well above the 99th percentile in verbal. But if I had just done this, if I had not done any non-RCs, if I had done nothing in quant, nothing in DLR also, this mark itself, we are expecting it to be 85 percentile at least in CAT 2023, right? So that's how important RCs are, because just this one topic can give a huge boost, right? The next most important topics, arithmetic, algebra, we can typically expect about 12 to 14 questions from arithmetic and algebra combined. RCs by themselves have more, right? And arithmetic, algebra, obviously, you have 9 topics in arithmetic, 5 topics in algebra. But this is where if you devote your attention to one area, which is RCs, and you do it well, it can really boost your score, right? So, and that's something which we've seen with a lot of students. They've done the POV, they've doubled or tripled their marks, gone to 99 percentile plus in verbal, and got into top IIMs or even graduated from there already. So now for RCs, what do we practice? Now CAT RCs are very different from our school RCs, right? They're mostly overseas passages. You will have multiple genres. So you'll have the relatively easier ones like science and history, geography, and maybe economics is something that you studied in school. But you'll also have socioculture or sociology, philosophy, psychology, literature, art, ethics, and a lot of these are new for us, right? These are abstract topics. We wouldn't have read much from these. So what the daily reading does is, it gets you comfortable with all of these genres or topics. It'll also improve your reading speed. As you get more comfortable itself, you'll read faster. But you also can Google any unknown words or concepts that you have. So any words you don't know, just Google it, right? And you will get the meaning. Similarly, any concept. Let's say there's, Scandinavian countries are mentioned. Now I know Finland is there, Norway is there. I don't know which other countries are there. Let me just Google it and figure out. It may be something very basic, right? So I don't know I'm not 100% sure what is capitalism or what is socialism, or for example, any concept which you have, let's say it's a psychological concept or something in philosophy and all, it will be unknown for most of us. Just Google it. You can also ask me in class, or you can put it in the doubts group for a faster resolution. So just knowing this itself will make you faster. It will make you much more comfortable with all these genres. Now, the second thing which we do is, in school, in your reading comprehension passages, you would have had a lot of direct questions. You can just go back to the passage and find the answer. A lot of times the words themselves will be the same. We just need to match the words. But in CAT, the questions will be like these. Which of the following, if true, will strengthen the author's view? Which of the following, if false, will undermine the author's premise? Which is the opposite, right? Undermining is weakening, the opposite of strengthening. Or which of the following, if true, will invalidate such and such example given in the passage? Or which of the following solutions would the author recommend? So these are not things which you can find in the passage. You need to understand what is the author's view or what is the author's premise. Then you need to look at the fresh information given in the 4 options and understand, is this option, if this is true, is it strengthening it? Is it weakening it? Is it going in line with the example, or is it invalidating the example? Based on the author's view, which solution would they recommend? All of the solutions will seem to make sense. You've got to go for the one which the author would be strongly supporting. So for that, you need to do something which is finding the author's view, right? And that's why on the verbal front, I always recommend starting with RCs, right? Whatever the next class is, whenever you're joining, before all of these, start with RCs. Please go through 4.1 first. Here you have a basic intro and certain techniques like types of questions, certain solved examples. But I'm also telling you how to read, what are the key focus areas, what are the key words, what are the parts to avoid. So we need to do a focused read of the RCs, and that's what we'll do with the articles. And we'll use that to find the author's view. Now, I've not just stopped there. What I've done is, I've also given you guys a lot of solved examples. Now, once we're done with 4.1, we actually jump to 4.3. And here you have an explanation of what the author's view is, and you have a lot of solved examples across different genres. So you understand how you need to read an article or how you need to read an RC and understand the author's view. Now, while you're going through the lessons, just start reading the articles. Once you're done with the lessons, or even in between, if you feel confident, if this is something which you're able to do, as you read the articles, try and understand what is the author's view. So don't summarize it, don't look at facts. Understand what is the author's view. Again, 4.3 will make the format and all a lot easier for you. And once you have noted down the author's view, you can read what I feel is the author's view and compare it. And please make sure that you are actually noting it down, right? So don't have it in your mind or something. Trust me, that doesn't work. And this is the area where we definitely need to put in a lot of efforts, right? So note down, which means write the author's view, then you compare it with mine and note down any differences, any errors, any miss outs. If you have extra points, it's fine. But if you've not got the view, right, then it's an issue. If you don't have the view or you don't have the supporting points, just note those down. Different words, different language, that is totally fine, right? And as you note this down, next day just review it, then you go to the next one and so on. Again, each and every doubt that you have, you can reach out and you can ask me. Don't ask me in the class, send it in the doubts group. For those of you who are in the unlimited pack, you can even send me your POVs one-on-one. You can text it to me on Telegram itself, and I will guide you as to what you can do. If there are, there's maybe some part that you missed or some keyword, or I'll tell you what to do to get it as close to getting the author's view as possible. So that, see, you don't need to get a 99.9 plus percentile like me or Vignesh. You get a 99 itself. That itself, say you get a 99 in verbal and quant, that itself is giving you a 99 probably in the total, right? Because the overall score is going to be a little bit on the lower side than each section. But speed concepts, daily POV, these are things which are putting you in that on that track to get the 99th percentile in pretty much every section. Same way on the DILR front, you have your lessons, you have a lot of solved examples in the lessons. So again, here you'll follow the prep schedule and go through the lessons. But say you're doing matching, you can see there's a whole bunch of problems which Vignesh has solved. Again, try to solve it yourself, then go through the video, see how he solved it. Then you'll have practice questions for each of the topics, again, easy, medium and hard. You will have daily quizzes. In the daily quizzes, again, 5 days a week, you will be having DILR which you can solve. So there's a lot which is there for you in terms of the practice, right? So you have your concept videos, you have your speed concepts, you have your daily reading, you also have your practice questions and daily quizzes. The next thing which you will have is your compete section, where you have your mocks, your sectionals, OMETs, which are for the other exams and so on. So for every mock, we will also be having a live test-taking strategy session. We'll be starting on mocks in some time once the concepts are done. For those of you who are joining us in April or later, you will see that, the mocks would have started by then. We'll start with one a month. And as we get closer to CAT, we'll typically look to solve one every week. And for every mock, we will be having a test-taking strategy session. Again, because this exam is really different. This is not an exam where we can solve questions sequentially. We're not going one by one. We don't have step marks. We need to prioritize the easy questions. We can have a section which is tough, which didn't go well. We need to pick ourselves up and do well in the remaining section. So there's a lot in this exam which can potentially stress us out. And more than stressing us out, no matter where your prep is, you can be at 70% prep and still get a 99 percentile if you prep the right topics and you approach the exam correctly. So that is what we are going to get into in these test-taking strategy sessions. Again, a unique thing that Mockat does. So just follow, again, in the study plan, you will know when, which mock you need to take. Just start with that. So this week, for example, if you see that mock 3 is mentioned, don't think, okay, let me do mock 1 and then mock 2. The mocks are not in increasing difficulty level. Every mock will be different. What's as important as taking a mock is analyzing the mock and attending the test strategy session. So when you take a mock, you will actually get a lot of details. How many questions you've attempted, how much time you've taken. Now this is, our dummy, so we've not really attempted any questions. But in your case, you will get all the details. So you'll know, have you missed out on some easy questions, where there may be some easy questions towards the end, which you missed them out because, and then you need to work on your strategy. You'll be able to review it in detail. You'll have the video solutions, a lot of stuff on the analysis front, which will be there. Now you do that, and then you come for the strategy session, and that is how you are basically ramping up your score and getting to that 99 or hopefully 99 plus. For now, we'll work more on the concepts and the practice itself. Now, aside from this, there's more on the site. I invite you to check it all. You can get to know more about the exams. What are the top B schools? What are the salaries, right? What exams do they take? CAT, of course, is the most important, but we'll be training you for SNAP, XAT, NMAT, and so on, right? So you can understand more. You can go on to the InShoot website and you can understand more about the InShoot, right? You can also reach out to us at any point for questions in all of these. So you can go through these and get more information, reach out to us, ask us any doubts that you have, and let's get on and let's get you to a top B school. All the best and welcome again to Mockat.